So we're not the only profession to hold white coat ceremonies. They're held by many different healthcare professional disciplines prior to the start of school, from physicians to physician's assistants, dentistry, nurse practitioners. Pharmacy is not alone in this tradition. So why do schools of pharmacy and other healthcare disciplines place such an importance on this ritual? In order to understand this, I think we must first think about what the white coat is and what it means. So from a practical standpoint, white coat is simply that. It's a covering to keep your clothes clean while performing your daily tasks. And it can also be considered a uniform. It's something you're required to wear. I think my students on rotation think of it as just something that's just a part of the everyday clothes that they have to put on. They have to put on the guys, the shirt with the collar, the tie, right, which is really annoying, and then their white coat. Girls have a little bit more freedom, but the white coat always goes on top. But it's more than just that. It's more than just something you have to put on so you don't get sent home from rotation. So let's take a moment to back up and think about the history of the white coat. Scientific laboratory coat was adopted by physicians in the 1900s. This happened about the time that the basis of their practice shifted from mysticism to a more scientific medicine. It symbolized not only this new basis of practice, but also the attributes that they wanted to portray to their patients. It's white, it's symbolic of purity, of life, of healing. Community pharmacists adopted this practice in the 1950s. However, the hospital pharmacists were not allowed to wear white coats inside the hospital because they might be mistaken for physicians. It was only in the late 1970s, early 1980s that they were finally granted this privilege. So today, there's a new question. So our pharmacists actually really worked hard in the hospital to be able to wear the white coat. Now we have this new question of, should we even continue to wear the white coat? You look at people and they don't necessarily want to wear the white coat anymore. Has it lost its purpose? So if you look at community pharmacy, they don't need a white coat necessarily anymore to protect their clothing. We're not compounding, as Dr. Haase said. We're not making things. We're just dispensing, correct? We're talking to patients. Do I need a white coat to protect my clothes? Not necessarily. Hospital pharmacists don't need a white coat, and in fact, they cannot wear a white coat when they're compounding IV medications inside the hood because it's not sterile. So it's uncomfortable. It's another piece of clothing. I can tell you these things are kind of hot, okay? It's like a walking sauna sometimes. So can we just get rid of it? Well, we need to step back and look at the symbolic meaning of it. What does it mean? So when you look at somebody in a white coat, what does it say to you? Does it say that they're involved in healthcare, that they are professional? Does it mean that it's somebody important? Or does it mean that you're unapproachable, that people can't come and talk to you because you're different than they are? I say that it symbolizes patient trust. It symbolizes a responsibility for patient care. Now, all of these are highly debated, and it's different, I believe, for everybody. But it's still a mode of communication. It indicates to patients and other healthcare professionals who you are and where you kind of fit in the practice of healthcare. So there are different lengths. The lengths of the jackets that y'all have are the hip length jackets. The attendings and the people who are registered pharmacists get to wear the longer knee length jackets. So even that communicates something to people when they're walking by. It also communicates to non-healthcare workers that you're someone who is dedicated to taking care of patients. So, do we need to wear it anymore? Well, in pharmacy school, yes. You don't get a choice on that. You have to wear it. But understand that this is not just something we require of you. It means something as well. It's an honor that you must earn, an expectation that you must meet. Many people feel that students shouldn't receive white coats until they graduate. I don't feel that way, but some people do, because they feel that you should not be given a coat until you meet that expectation. So my challenge for you as you go through pharmacy school is every time you put on the coat, you should think about your responsibility to your patients and to their care as a pharmacist. It's not just the act of taking care of your patient that teaches you to become compassionate, honest, competent as a pharmacist, but also the thought behind the action, the understanding of why we perform these actions. That you must earn patient trust. that you must show our patients compassion and respect, and that you must take responsibility for their care. As you grow as a professional throughout pharmacy school, you'll find that the white coat at first is a source of pride, then some anxiety, but always responsibility. The significance of this ceremony really depends on what the white coat means to you. During the ceremony, you'll also sign the Code of Ethics for Pharmacists. It's fairly long, and you can see the print is really small, and there's going to be a bunch of you going through. So don't take the time to read it now. I'm not going to be responsible for the backlog of people up here as you read it. I recommend that you take some time later to review the principles included in this code. It reflects general principles just mentioned when we talked about the meaning of the white coat: respect, compassion, competence, and integrity. As you sign the Code of Ethics and recite the Oath of the Pharmacist, you are dedicating yourself to patient care and a lifetime of learning and service, not just 4 years. Therefore, it takes more than just knowledge and actually passing pharmacy school to be a pharmacist. It takes professionalism, compassion, integrity, and respect for others. My charge to you is to concentrate on developing all of these characteristics every single time you put on your white coat. And eventually, it becomes second nature, for you will exhibit these characteristics every single day. Thank you.